have an exciting matchup. Space Station Gaming going up against Native Red. Look out for Taulek in this match. He has the 4th best KD today with that 1.35. The only players ahead of him, Lucid, Royal 2, and Falcated. 3 incredible slayers, and Taulek is really making himself a name as one of the best players in HCS.
Taulek is going to be the name to look out for, and he's already leading the way for his team with 2 kills on the board. Bound, Rookie of the Year from Season 1, rotating across the sandbags, and Eco following right behind, grabbing those frags. Instead of that seaside hold, though, we're seeing Native Red with a different strategy. They have the oddball at the back of B. There is still the replay, the playable potential, but Manny is the line of defense that Space Station finally broke through.
That double kill from Manny is going to be big, and it allows the rotation for Native Red to continue to fight for this ball, right? If Manny goes down without getting those kills, you would see Space Station just immediately get this time. Instead, Native Red have an opportunity to put a couple down in the feed and prevent Space Station from getting a huge swath of time. Unfortunately for Native Red, though, we are eventually going to see Space Station win those fights, and Pznguin's trying to follow up with some more nasty sniper action. The double assist comes through, and Space Station start to wipe the opponents. Native Red 3 down. StelluR with the triple kill, and now it's time to stat pad that time.
StelluR's triple, and now the oddball as well, getting the slays, getting the objective time, hands it off for Pznguin. StelluR left to go after the slays. Plasma pistol rapid fire, something we don't see too often, but it was enough to end up with the slay, but the reset comes through. Eco trying to stay alive at top mid. He takes out one target, but there's another around the corner. It's all too dangerous. It's Taulek rounding the corner, taking him down.
I love to see how fast the brain of Eco works there. He gets the kill, he sees the grenade drop down, expects the push, says, I'm going to shoot this and get as much damage as possible. It works like a charm. Unfortunately, not able to get that kill because of Taulek and his extra shields, but Eco already back into this action, trying to prevent this ball from getting away, and it's a perfect nade that'll prevent Native Red's rotation, and Bounds trying to find the follow-up with this commando rifle. Everything starting to fall in place for Space Station, but they need to cut off this ball's rotation.
Bound is sitting at 8-2 right now, 4 times the amount of kills to his deaths. And now with those kills breaking through, he's holding on to the objective at the back of B. SoulSnipe is approaching that B pillars, picks up the needler, tossing out a couple of frags. You see the icon, you know the oddball is there. But checking the corners because SoulSnipe doesn't know where any other defenders might be. He finds the oddball, he finds the needles, the pink mist wins out the oddball.
Doing his best to get into the face of Native Red, to get down Druk, and to try to open up a perimeter for Space Station to push through, and that's exactly what Eco is able to do. Gets the nest, starts to push forward for his team. They'll get that ball off the map and get ready for the reset. Eco has been impressive thus far in getting in the face and being in the correct spot at the correct time, really not allowing Native Red to get any surplus of time.
Big brain plays from Eco, but this play for the overshield is going to be stopped short. Just a few seconds left on that overshield spawn. Pznguin clearing out bottom mid. Bound comes in, grabs the oddball, but even with the melee, it doesn't come through as the trade I would have expected. His BR did not quite do enough damage, and that leaves Native Red to pick up the overshield. Manny putting it to work with no hesitation. Only 2 points separating the teams in this first round.
Manny's in between a rock and a hard place. At least he has the overshield to try to chew up this damage. He is going to be able to find the first. The second comes in as a trade. Eco and StelluR working as a tandem at bottom mid, trying to keep Native Red from winning this rotation. And once again, it's Eco Smith who's been leading the charge and making things frustrating for Native Red as he gets himself to that 11 kill mark. Really impressed with what Eco's been able to do, and the rest of Space Station has really been following his leadership in this game thus far, his ability to make Native Red just constantly under pressure.
Great pressure applied from Eco. I loved that bounce of the grenade from Pznguin, a play that was set up by Eco. He's there in the bottom tunnel. He has the heat wave. He has 2 repulsors. He could make a quick cheeky jump up to mid, but it's Taulek, this number 4 on the overall KD from today, is adding some more kills onto the board. Not quite locking down the whole team, but he's starting to heat up.
Oh no, too many players for Taulek to deal with, and now Druk has a timer in the back of his head. How long can I hold this ball? Pznguin soaring to get up high. The ball goes off the map, and Druk sends Pznguin as well. 2 players down, and the rotation from Native Red is there. Manny instantly on that ball, but the slays for Space Station are going to allow them to put pressure towards that rotation and also set up for this next overshield. It's going to be up to Druk to make a big play to stay alive.
Druk was left at 1 shot, and Bound took advantage. All that Space Station needs to do is win 1 full round of slays to get back the lead in this game, but they can't let Native Red break through. StelluR doesn't connect on the sniper. He's down to 1 shot. He could use the drop wall, but there's no time. He gets hit by a frag from the back. Pznguin with the overshield has the drop wall, has the plasmas, trying to hit the sticky grenade, but it's Taulek heating up with that heat wave who gets the takedown. Native Red are winning over this oddball, and they only need to milk 15 more seconds.
Oh, they're getting so close to getting this job done, and I love the space that Native Red have on the map right now. They're going to be able to handle the push from multiple directions, but you can see Space Station all gathered towards the sandbags, but Taulek comes back with the weapons. 8 more seconds to go. Taulek flies high. Nothing is going to get to them in time. Native Red clutch up, ice up, and get round 1.
You're looking at the scoreboard, and Bound is the number 1 slayer, but the objective play goes to Native Red. Taulek leading the way with 13 slays and 7 assists. 1 more round like that, Native Red, and we're looking at a potential upset, maybe the first upset of the day.
Well, Bound's going to be able to get that opening heat wave. And now this is where Space Station have to be careful, right? Bound wants to keep the spawns for his team so they can try to fight for this overshield. And he was successful at getting them an A spawn, but they're going to have to deal with the pressure towards tower. Overshield is up. The slays for Space Station start to come through. Druk on the perimeter with this sniper, but they had to give up the overshield. This time is on. This clock is starting for this ball time, and while Space Station are swarming in to stop the potential time, but Druk able to do the most out of a sticky situation, getting those snipes in, but Space Station eventually win the fight.
Crazy survival here from Bound because he was body shot by that sniper. He ducks back to cover, he climbs up to nest, he regens enough shield to win the 1v1. He has the last round of the sniper in his hand. He serves out a little bit of revenge, but here comes Druk. Not happy to let him have his way with that sniper. The 1v2 is going to be too much for the Rookie of the Year to handle.
StelluR able to get that heat wave, and he's flying towards Manny. This shot, this kill, massive, and Manny just not able to get there in time. That's going to allow Space Station to start taking control of the mid-map. Native Red now on their heels as they start to feel the pressure from Space Station. The ball had to go off, and it all starts with StelluR getting that opening pick, allowing the floodgates to open, and Space Station going to win this rotation, win this ball away, and if they can get another round of slays, find some separation on this scoreboard.
Pretty neck and neck right now, just 8 seconds between the 2 teams. 2 more slays go through for Space Station. That's exactly what the doctor ordered, or in this case, what Garrett ordered, a round of slays to create that scoreboard separation. But look at this, StelluR now with overshield. We might see a little bit of a snowballing effect here from Space Station, winning rounds of slays after rounds of slays. That overshield is expended. StelluR gets the melee, he gets the second melee, he gets that reversal. Native Red finding that opening pick, but Bound is still left for them to deal with.
Yeah, StelluR made an impressive play right there, skating up high, trying to get the punch down on Taulek. Was just able to connect, And all that allows Space Station to feel that their tower is clear and to know that this ball doesn't need to rotate anytime soon. The pressure can be handled. And now you're starting to see Native Red in a little bit of a desperation mode, spawning so far away from that ball, not having any momentum. It's gonna be up to this player. There's a player from Native Red that's going on to play. Pznguin needs to catch him out, and StelluR was there at the mud. Oh no, I didn't see StelluR there. What a great play from Space Station. They put StelluR all the way at the mud to deal with the long range flank. They were gonna be able to get that first kill, and by the time the rest of Native Red gets there, the ball's played, and they've already rotated the map.
We were looking at a neck and neck game, but now there's 44 points of separation that Space Station won off of that hold. StelluR in a fight against Druk. SoulSnipe actually on the flank though is the player to clean up the kill, coming out with the double. Overshield is inbound. Native Red have the objective. SoulSnipe looking for more, but he gets a little too hungry. Pznguin had some help. The team fire takes him down, and here's the snipe. We have Overshield. We have everything ready and up for grabs.
Yeah, Eco, he's almost disbelieving himself with how easy this overshield's gonna be for him. Taulek just had to go immediately play that ball, and I like this from Eco, right? You have one sniper shot, but the impact that's gonna make is not as much as the overshield and the heat wave, but SoulSnipe, he had the right answer, right? That noob combo comes in, and it's almost, could be disaster for Space Station, but Bound is the player that stabilizes it all. Triple kill for him, and he has had a masterful round two. 27 and 16 plus 11 with the kills. Bound is truly the reason why Space Station has found this separation. The first round, he didn't have the greatest slaying performance. This round, no one can touch him.
Untouchable plays. Druk now, double kill, forces the reset. Space Station just need to win one reset of the oddball. They only need 11 seconds. Druk is gonna push forward 1v2. He doesn't have enough damage to lay down. Space Station have all but won this objective. Bound at the top on the sandbags. Taulek does find the answer for that. This oddball still hasn't been touched. Space Station won the first few kills, but Native Red are finding a response.
The jiggle is too much. It all starts with Taulek laying at the back of B, trying to let Space Station push through to find a quick flank, and now he's rocketing towards them, putting down so much damage. They finally take care of Taulek, but not before this ball is out and away. SoulSnipe goes down, and the rest of Native Red falls. So unfortunate. A great thought process, and it could have been a great hold by Native Red, but they have to execute on the last facet of that push, and that's just getting slays that don't get traded out. Space Station eventually kill Taulek. The rest follow. A great effort towards the end, but Space Station quick to play defense, stabilize, get the round win. We're going to one final round, and we've seen convincing victories for both of these teams in our first couple of rounds. Who can be the deciding factor? Who is going to step up from both these teams? Keep your eye out on Bound and keep your eye on Taulek. These are the two guys that are going to will their team to victory.
Well, right on cue, Observer switching to Bound. Keep our eyes on him as he takes down a kill at bottom mid, but instead of going straight for the objective, he knows that the heat wave and overshield are the priority. Taking that heat wave, rotate around so they can get the team fire, win that overshield, and now right on cue, Pznguin picks up the oddball off of those wins.
Look how StelluR's separated from the rest of his team. He has that sniper rifle, but he's trying to use his teammates as bait to push Native Red into an angle that he can see, and Druk falls right in place. StelluR able to get the free kill, and now he's looking for more. Taulek's just gonna dodge that sniper, but Space Station able to get themselves a little bit of time. I think probably a little frustrating for Space Station that they weren't able to get more value from that play.
Always looking for value off of the back of those plays, and here's Bound against the player to watch out for. Taulek takes Taulek down, but do they get the efficiency off of that opening kill? Eco with the grenade, seeming an endless supply, but Manny finding enough cover to shoot right back. Eco goes down, the ball gets reset. 17 seconds is all the lead that Spacestation have been able to get from those early round wins. Now StelluR taking the 1v2 head on and winning it.
Oh, StelluR played that wonderfully. He knew he was in a 1v2, put his back to the left wall, said, hey, if you're gonna kill me, you have to push forward. And while you push, I'm gonna destroy Druk in the bottom of tunnels. StelluR going massive for his team, preventing Native Red from getting separation early from that ball grab, and now making it a little shaky to play towards this overshield. The flank is in, Taulek goes down, Bound trying to clean up the rest. SoulSnipe able to put on that overshield. He held that for so long, and now Eco's in trouble.
Eco was on the chase and almost made it there in time to stop the overshield pop, but even though SoulSnipe held on to it, he comes out with the pop of the overshield, he comes out with the kill, but Pznguin sends him right back to the respawn screen. 16 rounds of that heat wave. Here comes Pznguin looking for the last remnant of defense, expecting for a reset to come through, and there it is.
Eco gets the 2, and not gonna be able to follow up with that player at top mid. SoulSnipe has an opportunity to prevent this ball from getting too far, but he's immediately hammered down by StelluR. And now look at Bound on this flank, able to find one, and he's gonna try to get to the support of StelluR. Sees that he goes down, and it's a risky play for Bound right here, right? He could try to take that ball, rotate it back towards his teammate spawn. Instead, he decides to play back, and well, it backfires. Taulek comes down with his teammates. They're able to track Bound down in numbers as Spacestation, as Native Red wins the rotation. Like I said, it's a 50-50 play by Bound. It just happens to backfire on them, and now Native Red are able to get that ball away and have a real opportunity to put some points on the board.
Bound might be regretting that decision, but there's no time for regret. This round is tight. 23 seconds in this round 3. Here is Bound on the wrong end of SoulSnipe sniper, and as he's being taken down, he jumps off the side of the map, making sure that no sniper is left for the other side.
Eco's trying to hunt down Taulek, but look at Taulek. He's being frustrated. There's 3 players. Look, there's a triangle of players in Spacestation around Taulek, and he still wins the fight. He's going for 2. Triple kill for Taulek. Are you kidding me? He was stuck behind everyone. Pznguin's able to get the double kill, but Taulek's going insane mode at B. What did I say, Magic? Look at Taulek this game. If Native Red's gonna win this game, it's because of him.
And right now, the lead that Native Red has in this game is because of Taulek. He was caught in the middle of triangulated fire, and he answers by taking down all 3 people that would oppose him. The ball is out in no man's land, out in the open. Neither team wants some risk going for it, because right now they gotta get the slays. Pznguin gets the takedown. He's gonna try to wait for his shield to come back. Potentially has the heat wave at the ready, but Taulek finds him with a spike grenade. The oddball being snuck away by Spacestation. Here comes Eco, leading the way, trying to create a path, but it's 2 players from Native Red. 3 go down for Spacestation. Pznguin last alive, and the best he can hope for is to get a kill, because Native are gonna get more time.
Yeah, that's a tough spot for Spacestation. They wanted to rotate to tower, but they just didn't have the timing, and Native Red spawns up in time. They get the counter spawn, able to stop that ball from getting all the way through, and Druk a little shaky with the shot, but finds the finish on Pznguin. Native Red get a couple seconds of ball time, throw it off, and are ready to play for the reset. Spacestation on their back foot, but have a real opportunity. Ego's gone away with this ball. They're set up back towards tower. Now it just comes down to some individual slays.
Individual slays could determine the outcome of this game, and I want to take a quick second to look at the assists though, because Bound and Pznguin with 20 apiece. Spacestation Gaming with certainly more in the assist column, but Native Red with the objective plays. Watch out, Bound has a repulse left. He can send someone or something off of the map. He's going after 1 kill. He's looking for a double, and he's not happy to wait for Taulek to fall off the map. He shoots him on the way down.
Yeah, Pznguin has an overshield. We'll see if he's gonna use it to get that ball away. He Could have maybe seen Penguin try to push forward with that overshield and get Native Red right off their spawns, but he comes back for the team help, and they're going to be able to get Native Red 2 down. Bound gets them 3. The last shot connects, and now it's just Taulek on a lone flank. I think they know he's here, and StelluR shuts him down, and now the time is going to get close. Native Red just experienced a full wipe. By the time they're able to amass their numbers and get themselves back into a pushing situation, we're going to see this game be just about tied.
Looking to see if the game gets to that tie point. It looks like the reset comes through maybe a little bit earlier than anticipated because StelluR didn't connect on the snipes that would have brought them the lead. Druk is sneaking this oddball back. StelluR gets the kill onto Taulek. Penguin and Bound each find a kill of their own. So Druk's sneaky play, he might have just gave Spacestation the hold they need.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. Druk thought he could get away with it early, but Spacestation was quick on the rotation. They find the kills, and now they have the ball, and now they have the lead. Native Red on their back foot. Desperation is starting to sit in. Druk wins a big one on Bound, but look how far away they are from this ball. Taulek tries to keep them away, and, well, Taulek did his job. He was isolated from everyone. He pushed Spacestation back, and now look at this rotation. Native Red are able to get this ball to back tower. There's no one from Spacestation to contest this ball, and now Native Red, they're not going to try to go for the time for the ball time. They're going to try to run out this clock, and with 3 going down, StelluR has a decision to make: overshield or ball. The time is ticking. He makes neither. He goes down. Native Red looking more and more likely to be your victor as they get this time on the board. Just 1 more second, 90 and counting. Hold for 10 more seconds. Everything is here for them to take this victory. Native Red have done the dirty. They got the kills. The time ticks away. They win our first game.
Taulek just seconds away from hitting the 40 kill mark. I know it might be inconsequential, but I was holding my breath to see if he made it across that checkpoint. The most important checkpoint is the 2-1 round win, and Native Red get the first notch on their belt, the first trophy in place if they are going to tie this together to come up with an upset.
And it's so interesting towards the end of the game, right? Remember, we saw Druk out BR Bound over at Tower, but then we saw all the players from Native Red just stuck at the back of Tower, and you're like, oh, they're too far away, and then we switch over, and suddenly you see Taulek in the thick of it between 3 players, forcing the ball out of the hands of Spacestation, allowing his team time to move forward, and they get the kills. It's insane. I cannot believe that happened towards the end, and then we're in this spot, right? Look at the time.
Right.
It's ticking away. 20 seconds. They're still down in this game, and they're deciding, hey, we have to play for Slays and play for overshield. The only way they're gonna break us is if they get to overshield. They find the break. Taulek glows yellow, and suddenly everything goes right for Native Red. They get the kills. They get the game win. Phenomenal performance from everyone, and Taulek leads the Slays on his side, but on the other side, StelluR and Bound must be frustrated. Both of them dropping over 40 kills for the loss.
Yeah, and add to that, Bound with a significant amount of objective time, 80 seconds as well, so not just slaying, but trying to do a little bit of it all. And Spacestation Gaming, they have plenty of competitive experience. They were in the top 2 for every major last year from the Cloud9 roster, now moving over. And the only way you get to that position is by being able to regain, being able to get back into the fight, even off of a loss. These are some tough, mentally prepared competitors. So 1 game down, I don't think is going to shake them off of their series.
Absolutely not. Recharge is coming up next, and well, Spacestation, I'd be looking at Bound and StelluR to keep doing what they were doing. Bound had 12,000 damage that game with 41 kills. I expect to see him keep that momentum forward, and then I expect to see StelluR in particular to be picking up that shock rifle, right? If they're going to come back in the game in this series, it's going to be because of StelluR's shock rifle play. He's one of the best snipers that Halo's seen, and it's time for him to prove why in this game to tie it up to even.
Tying it up to even is the task in front of Space Station Gaming. I love that you're pointing out StelluR with the shock rifle. Hopefully a combination that we can see in action as we head into this next match. And I'm just blown away looking at the stats. Damage dealt, damage taken. Everybody is above 10K in both columns, just so tight. I mean, it's very familiar. We've seen these matchups where all 8 players are just like neck and neck, fighting for the game win and fighting for the stats. And to see such a close grouping across 8 players is almost unheard of.
I mean, oddball games, when they get down to the round 3 nitty gritty, like we saw, it's always fun to go at and look at the stats after, right? Because when you get to games like that, it's usually because everyone's doing their job, everyone's pushing their luck, doing what they can. I just got an update about game 2 over at G1 versus BTH. It looks like G1 were able to take game 2 50-41, so that means that series is tied up 1 apiece right now. We're waiting to get into our game 2 on this best of 5, but we're seeing obviously the players taking some time using a bathroom break. You know, 22 minutes and 2 seconds of Halo magic. Sometimes you're going to need a little bit of a bathroom break, refill your water, whatever it is, before you get into the next game.
Yeah, you gotta stay hydrated because these players are out here sweating for these matches. It's very important that you keep the water intake at a healthy level. I'm sorry, I might sound like the mom that I am, but it is important. You gotta prioritize your health. So we'll let those players get the quick break that they need to get refueled and recharged. And here you're looking at games 1 and 2, the results of those. BTH, as you referenced, taking game number 1. That was a 2-0 on that oddball. Love to see gamers first and game 2 tying up the series. And honestly, Tools, we might be looking at mirrored matchups here. Just not just in bracket placement, but if we see Space Station Gaming coming back in game 2, both series will end up in that tied 1-1 spot.
You know, my big question right now, Magic, is looking at this BTH roster. Hey, they made it in the pools, right? They're repping BTH. I don't think they're necessarily signed or anything, you know, just repping the org. I love everything, but maybe you gotta, hey, Maniac, you know, maybe the BTH crew need to get themselves some jerseys made, start representing those old school MLG days. I'd love to see the return of the old BTH, the BTH vibe at LANs. And so far, man, I've been believing this hype. They have been phenomenal through these last couple tournaments, but G1 looking for some revenge, and it's always scary to play a team that has a chip on their shoulder.
G1 definitely with that chip on their shoulder. This has been, you know, starting out season 2 in pool plays is a huge jump from where they started off last season, really coming back from behind, really being that underdog story. But now with significant changes to the roster, you talked about Taulek in that number 4 spot. Just above him in KD for today is Falcated in number 3. Definitely a player to watch out for on Gamers First. If he gets off and running, he will be hard to shut down. Early time on the first hill is going to G1.
Yeah, G1, I mean, this has been pretty flawless on the setup for them early on. Got the rockets and have gotten the kills. They're probably gonna take around this first hill. And ooh, Suspector, man, he plays fast. Boo Boo Doo last alive, but he is in the back of this red room that they know they're gonna hunt him down. BTH find the break, but they're playing with a thin margin of error right here. One break and you know that G1's going to be able to capture that hill. If you guys want to stay updated with this game, we'll provide updates as we go into our main match of Space Station Gaming versus Native Red. But you can always open up another tab. Boo Boo Doo is streaming this match, so if you want to stay updated, go on over there. But our main action's back. Space Station versus Native Red. Game 2. Space Station outslayed, outdamaged, did what they needed to do, but weren't able to come home the victor in game 1. Native Red able to get that scrappy win, and they're looking to go up 2-0 in this series. SoulSnipe not able to get that camo on his body. Manny, the last player alive, trying to keep them away from this camouflage.
Oh, Eco was trying to get his hands on the camo as well, but he is taken down. Look at the slide from Bound, getting into the action and quickly pops the camo, but Native Red know exactly where he is. All that Bound was able to accomplish on that great movement was to burn the camo. Maybe it's enough because Native Red just have that 1-point lead, taking the camo out of play.
Yeah, a bit of a defensive play in an aggressive manner from Bound, right? Using all the stuff in his toolbox to get that camouflage, but it has to come in from a burn. And while Native Red, they're not stopping. They're finishing this collapse. Everyone from Space Station sees the respawn screen as SoulSnipe gets his sniper rifle. I love the little throw that we saw from, I believe that was a Manny. He said, hey, this is you. You got snipe in your name. You better prove it. Hit some big ones.
Magic Moon Snipe. I mean, does that mean that they dropped shock rifle for me? I don't know. Might be a rebrand to consider. SoulSnipe does get that shock rifle from his teammates, and maybe more importantly, keeping it out of StelluR's hands as well. What can he do with it? There's two players at the top of control, Bound and now Pznguin. He hears him over there. You can hear the audio, the footsteps, tries to toss a grenade to maybe bait out a peek, but it's StelluR on C stairs who seems unafraid. Gonna be a brief pause here as both teams position themselves for the next round of active camo. SoulSnipe not connecting with that shock yet.
See, Eco, he was sitting on that box. He decided, no, I'm not gonna get the camouflage. I'm gonna bait these players that are trying to get it. He got two, and suddenly Space Station find a great break in the action, able to get the camouflage, got that shock rifle away for now, but it was all because of StelluR and Eco working together in that camo pit. And now suddenly everything looking a little shaky for Native Red. StelluR on the fadeaway snipe gets the kill, keeps his camouflage intact, and Native Red are all seeing the respawn screen. It's disaster on the other side.
I just got the biggest smile across my face, Garrett, because you warned them. You warned the audience that if StelluR has the shock rifle, he's nasty with it. He gets another perfect. More targets are funneling through Whirlpool, and oh no, that grenade Manny walks right into the perfectly placed plasma.
Oh, you can see how confident StelluR is. He's immediately running towards this pipe. He knows that these players aren't going to expect this speed, and he gets one more killing spree for StelluR, and he's going to cycle up that noob combo, make sure that that shock rifle goes onto its pad once again, and Native Red have lost their lead, and it's because of this guy right here. He's keeping them away. The nades finally take him out, but it took an army to get StelluR out of his power position.
Native Red had to send wave after wave to shut down StelluR. They finally find him, but only after shock rifle was expended. Repulsor was used up. And now we're seeing another brief standoff. It's again timed with that camo pickup. Both teams are positioning.
It's inverted this time, Magic. Look, last time Space Station had control of the tower side. This time it's Native Red, but we're already seeing Space Station putting pressure all towards these players at elevator and pit. They're going to be able to get the opening kills. So even though Space Station have to do the inversion of what they did before, they still execute, and they're finding kill after kill. Native Red struggling to get themselves some momentum. All that early steam is starting to dissipate.
They need to find some more steam. They need to refuel. They're only down 2 as we reach the halfway point. Bound finds a kill. Pznguin is credited for that assist. And look at this. StelluR with a new shock rifle. He's already hitting the body shot. He's trying to clean up the rest of the kill, but he has to use the grapple to get back to cover. The push comes through. Native Red looking like they learned their lesson first time around.
What's crazy about it is Space Station's playing a crazy game. It seems like everything's going right, but they don't really have that much separation on the leaderboard, right? It's 28-26. Native Red's still very much in this game, and we know how things can change off one moment, right? And that moment's going to be for Taulek with this shock rifle. You have the ability to open the floodgates for your team, let them push forward and get a clean wipe, but it comes down to hitting your first snipe shot. Who's going to be the player that reveals their head just long enough for Taulek to tap, and can Taulek execute when his team needs it the most?
I believe that Taulek can execute with this shock rifle. The update there on the screen, G1 taking game 3, lead the series now 2-1. Taulek trying to extend his team's lead to 2-0 if they can come back in this game, only down 2. One play with this shock rifle could tip the scales.
You can start to see Native Red putting that pressure towards long haul. They want to break out C while this camouflage is coming up. It's a lot easier to fight for that camo from that position, but Spacestation hasn't given up a life, and StelluR was able to grab the camouflage away. He goes incognito, and now Taulek has to be aware that there could be a camouflage pushing. StelluR, he's got into the half wall. Manny's waiting at pipes, and he is going right through the middle of the map. He has a clear idea of where he wants to go. Taulek's looking for his chance, trying to find anything with this shock rifle. They're able to get 2 players down, but the push still needs to come in. It hasn't been a satisfying counter. Spacestation, yes, they've been giving up lives. Yes, they've been giving up deaths. But Native Red really hasn't been able to take firm control of the map yet. You can still see very cautious play from Taulek and the rest of Native Red, not trying to give up anything. And well, the time-old saying is that Slayers, they don't start until number 30, right? When you get to 30 kills, that's when the Slayer really starts. And we're about to see who breaks that barrier. Taulek's still trying to get around this corner. Nico's waiting in bay. Taulek sends the grenade back. Has to back up. Look at all the nades that came through. They're very aware of how much this push can mean, and Taulek takes massive damage. There's no follow-up on the play yet, but getting that shock rifle out of Taulek's hands big. And you see Taulek had an idea for Druk right there, but just weren't on the same page. Yeah, he picks up his shock rifle once again. And I'm like, you are truly going to see this happen for probably another 2 minutes. It's gonna come down to the first pick. Once a pick comes through, the floodgates are open, and there we go. StelluR goes down. The rest of Native Red get the Q. They're saying camo's coming up. This is our chance to grab it. They're able to get the camo away, and now suddenly they have a bunch of utility to work with to find the break. Spacestation feeling that pressure, try to break in from the back door. Eco goes down. The trades are in. Druk with the commando rifle sitting at top tower. He's going to give his team the A spawns while the rest of Native Red start to try to figure out how to deal with the push at long. And now Spacestation suddenly starting to feel a little bit cramped, a little bit more contained as Manny uses the camo snipe combination to get the kill.
Yo, Tools, great job casting. I'm sorry, I dropped my notebook and my audio completely disconnected, but this game is anywhere but done. We've crossed over that also significant 30-point line, and now both teams are in it for the home stretch. Manny uses the last round of that shock rifle, but he still has the final seconds as that camo dwindles. He ends up with a trade. Plasma pistols on the ground. Native Red, 2-point lead, but Eco trying to stay alive to get back in this game. Spacestation can't give up too many more lives, but Eco is gonna get found out. It's Taulek who flushes him out of the corner.
Now keeping that pressure forward, Penguin's gonna get the finish, and now Druk's in trouble as you start to see the rest of them follow. Oh, the noob combo shock rifle combination, the pulses of green get him weak enough, and StelluR able to get the kill. Native Red trapped at A. Manny desperately tries to alleviate the pressure towards tower. He's successful on finding that kill at Eco, but I don't think Native Red know that tower's clear for the rotation, and StelluR trying to get back with his teammate. He's expecting a push towards backseat, right? They lost their numbers over there, but StelluR not even aware that Native Red didn't take their opportunity. Native Red are all towards pipes, and suddenly the rest of Spacestation are like, we need help. And StelluR's, I'm across the map, man. If they don't come bat ledge, I don't got nothing for you. Camouflage will go to him, but Native Red not falling for the trap at C. StelluR now with this camouflage has the opportunity to get this game back in their possession. It's a 30-second clock to work with. Let's see how much can StelluR put it to work with.
Bound wins a huge kill at the bottom of B stairs, and then weakened, StelluR uses him as bait to roll through and clean up one kill. I don't know if he knows there's a player around to his left that rotated back up pipes. 3 of Native Red are there in elevator, but it's Taulek! It's Taulek on the flank! He finds his back!
Finds an important kill, and now the rest of Spacestation are wondering, what do we do? They have to push backwards, and Manny finds a potential back-breaking kill. Yes, it's only a 2-kill lead, but 2 kills feels insurmountable thus far this game. It's been so tough to find separation, and Eco has to go flying, just able to survive. No one from Native Red to take opportunity of the weak Eco Smith, and now he's looking to break in. And look at the bottom of your screen, the clock is changing, but Manny and Druk find 2 more, make it a 3rd. Oh no, they're down by 4 and only 45 seconds to work with.
The full team wipe extended, and now Native Red with the 4-point lead. They flush out StelluR, who was the last alive. Every player on Space Station has exactly 11 kills, but that still leaves them 4 kills short in this game.
SoulSnipe catching himself out in the open. Native Red on game point, but Space Station have done this before. They know how to claw their way back in. 15 seconds. Bound has to be the player that gets through. Native Red, they're all trapped at the back of pipes. Druk able to use the noob combo for the opening kill. The trade not there fast enough. Space Station, the clock works against them, and now down 0-2 in a pivotal series against Native Red.
Bound overextending solo, and Druk took the opportunity. The plasma pistol was charged. All 3 teammates from SSG were over at Whirlpool, were over approaching pipes, but nobody could give Bound the help he needed. That's the final kill. But it was really the team wipe that Native Red won that set up this series of events, leading to their 2-0 lead in the series.
It's massive, and it all goes back to me is the play that StelluR had with camouflage, right? They rotated back towards C. He was able to get these couple opening picks, but he just needed to do more, right? He wasn't able to stay alive for much longer after this. When he gets caught out, suddenly the rest of his team is in danger of losing it all. He's just not able to execute on that kill. The callouts come through, and StelluR gets trapped out. It's Taulek, right? Taulek, he only had 8 kills, but that kill on StelluR to prevent them from using that camouflage to find a break on those players at A is eventually what breaks the Camel's back. Space Station not able to recover, and Native Red, they take up the entirety of the game, but they get the job done. 50 kills to 47, and honestly, it's been impressive how resilient they were, because we saw great collapses from Space Station, but Native Red were always within striking distance. And then once Taulek got that kill with the shock rifle to get them to that 30 kill threshold, they took the lead and never gave it up.
Look at Druk leading the way, breaking the 5K damage mark. Another game where stats are very tight. Damage dealt, damage taken among all 8 players. But Druk stands out above the rest to take game number 2. I love the flank play from Taulek. That might have been the pivotal moment of the game, but ultimately it was Druk that led Native Red to get to that lead, and then it snowballed right at the final stages. SSG, you gotta clutch up when it counts. And right there, StelluR with the camo, finding a pick and then being taken down by the flanking player. It's not gonna be enough.
Well, we saw Space Station in just a tournament before. They were down 0-2 in a series. They were able to get within deep and make the reverse sweep. They're going to have to replicate that success today, and Bound is going to be the player that leads the charge. Expect to see him constantly on the front lines and pushing his advantage at all points in time. He is that entry frag player that you need for your team. In the meantime, Native Red wins the open. At least Space Station's able to burn those rockets, but Native Red well positioned for this first hill.
Rockets might be burned, but that all-important red gun is in the hands of Taulek. He hits some early damage onto Bound, onto StelluR. Ego finds the team fire. Bound trying to peek, but there's only 2 players from Space Station even contesting. Impatience from Native Red. They don't immediately send to the hill, but StelluR's the one who wins out the day. Bound milking his life, and now the early time on this hill, a chunk of time for Space Station.
Time doing his best to get back forward with Eco. They want to keep Native Red from even trying to get around this corner. And Eco and Bound are combining for a deadly 1-2 punch, able to take down the spawners, and Bound tries to stay forward. Remember, Bound wants to be in your face at all points in time. Don't expect to see him ever sitting back. Taulek gets in between everyone. 2 for him, but Bound's recovering quickly. It's up to Pznguin. Native Red are able to find the break. And although they won that opening start, right, look at the time. Spacestation were able to get a huge amount from that last break. It's up to Native Red to really pull their way back into this one.
Native Red can win this round of Slays. They can match that time or even surpass it, but the opening kills are all going blue. Spacestation, 1, 2, 3, 4 go down for Native Red. Spacestation picking up where they left off. And they also have the weapons that are won over. Bulldog in Eco's hands as he locks sight onto Manny at the bottom of P Street. He is ready for someone to get up close and personal. But Druk might be the player to do that. The rocket finds its mark before the stalker rifle takes him down.
Did Spacestation rotate out too fast is the question. No, they're able to get those kills. Taulek is trying desperately to get to the back and see, and Taulek wins the foot race, right? This is important because of the spawns. It's going to prevent Spacestation from spawning on that next hill, and then he uses the stalker rifle to get the next big kill. Native Red wins the rotation because the individual play from Taulek, but the follow-up has to be there. StelluR's instantly applying pressure, trying to keep them out of that hill, and is successful at that. Manny goes down, StelluR breaking his way through, and the rest of Spacestation follows through the doors.
Eco is on the hunt for another kill. He's gonna find it, set up the play. Spacestation on the team fire. They have 1 hill on the board, but they need a full map win to start their way back on a full reset. Taulek though, double kill, and he still has half of his health. Seemingly unscathed from fighting in a 1v2 situation. Thrusters out of the way of danger, and it's SoulSnipe to come through to take down StelluR.
Look at how far away Spacestation are spawning and the treacherous path that they'll have to go through. Manny has the stalker rifle at top C. That means that middle lane's going to be tough to break into. StelluR trying to get him off from the purple side. But Manny's ready for this push. It's going to take 2 to get in. The shotgun's not enough. Manny precise with his weapon of choice. The hill looking more and more likely to be Native Reds as we're going to be tied up 1-1. As we head into the third rotation. But look at this, Taulek once again winning the spawn rotation. He went forward, is able to kill the player, and this is frustrating for Spacestation because it's not allowing them to spawn into PD. They have to track down Taulek, and by the time they're able to do so, the rest of Native Red are here. They're trying to collapse on in. It's gonna be a failed push, but I love the plays from Taulek. The way that he's been playing aggressive, the way he pushes forward has been preventing Spacestation from getting early setups.
Very aggressive plays from Taulek to prevent those setups. Manny with his dying breath fires a rocket to find a kill. SoulSnipe now and the rest of Native Red need to find another breakthrough because it's still Spacestation locking down this half of the map. Bound has the commando. We talk about the stalker, we talk about the bulldog, the rockets of course. But the commando, another huge player in this sandbox.
StelluR comes for that kill. Bound had his help, and Bound is continually this player who's just trying to get as much damage in as possible, able to get another assist. And you can tell he doesn't really want to be in this hill. He wants to go fight those players towards B, but his teammates have already gotten the flank through. Pznguin at the top of C gets in a massive amount of damage. But what's worrying about that is it gave up that back A spawn. SoulSnipe's trying to do his best to keep them out of that hill. If the rest of Native Red can get there in time, this might be salvageable.
They might just be able to salvage this because SoulSnipe trapped there in the back of PD ends up as a trade, but the spawns are still going to be on the side of Spacestation. Watch out, StelluR has a bulldog on the loose. Taulek laying down long-range fire, suppressing 2 players from Spacestation at the back of Bulldog. Native Red are on this hill, and look at the spawn flip. Now all of Spacestation is on Subway side.
Yeah, able to get the spawn flip, but they're not going to just go get themselves in hill. They need another round of slays. They need to make sure that Space Station can't push freely. And while Taulek's doing the job, he gets two. Pznguin has to run away, but Taulek's on the chase. He knows where Pznguin weighs in late. There we go. Taulek gets the kill, and now look at this position that Taulek has. Rockets are coming up. StelluR's in the middle position, but there's just nowhere for Space Station to freely push. They're trapped at the back of C. They know that this time is going in favor of Native Red. They want to get to these rockets, but the BRs and Native Red keep them away. But finally, the break comes through. Rockets will be in the hands of Pznguin as he looks to get the instant kills. One more to go. Taulek goes down. Space Station can break this hill and get the lead. They need to finish these fights, and Druk, last alive, desperately looks for the push. Able to get the kill. Is there enough time for Native Red to recover?
I don't know if they have the time or the numbers to recover. It would have to take perfect Halo right now. The hill goes over. Wait, what did you see? I missed it.
Oh, it's 5-0. G1 win their series against BTH. A statement of a game, getting revenge from that Game 5 loss just a tournament ago.
Well, G1 are moving forward to face the winner of this very matchup. Space Station need to mount a comeback of their own. SoulSnipe making it hard to do. Space Station do have the lead. They did lock down that hologram side hill. An early time in this next hill for Native Red, but it doesn't matter who has that first chunk of time. It's who gets the last second of time.
Yeah, so far Native Red are just... Space Station just can't get through. SoulSnipe's doing a great job pushing left and right, making sure he's getting as much damage while he's that hill player. And well, it's a last second push that's needed. And Bound is able to get the kill. The rest of Space Station 1 in the back. Like you said, it comes down to that last second. Native Red just need a fraction of time, but Space Station are set up and ready for whatever pushes to come.
You know, they say a good defense, a good offense is a good defense. Right now, we see a very offensive style of defense from Space Station Gaming, extending out far and away from the hills. StelluR gets the trade through, but there's no one on Space Station left alive to hold down that hill. So Native Red, they just needed that final few seconds. They find it.
Oh, they're at C, and SoulSnipe knows. The problem is that Native Red wants to be at C. They want to find this break. The first rocket comes in. StelluR goes weak. And look at Manny. They're going to coordinate together. SoulSnipe comes in. Taulek gets the kills through the middle, and they all fall down. It's a clean wipe. A great coordinated effort. We'll take a look at it after this game is over, but that might be the picture-perfect break that you were looking for. Native Red start to steamroll their way towards this hill.
Absolutely excited to see that in the replay. SoulSnipe, he's got the stalker rifle. It might be a second-hand sniper, but in the hands of SoulSnipe, it looks like a full-fledged power weapon as he gets the killing spree. And if he can lock down top C, he has that angle across top mid, but it's not gonna be enough. Pznguin finds a way to shut it down. Pressure still onto Space Station. Every time they've been climbing up that scoreboard, putting time onto the hill, Native Red have found a way to steamroll back.
Taulek once again finds himself in between three players, somehow gets the kill. Bound trying to keep Native Red from winning that rotation to back C. Can Eco give the spawns for his teammates to come help? He's looking to get a pick. His spawners are in the right spot, right? That was all Eco trying to make sure his team continued to get a C spawn. It gave them instant access back to the hill, and Native Red, just as soon as they broke that hill, they have to leave it. Rockets coming up, and Bound is gonna be the player of choice. He's ready to roll. The boom boom's in hand. It's time for him to put this Native Red roster away.
He's looking at the subway bench, but I don't think there's anyone there. It's the top of B that Bound has to worry about. He turns around. It's too late. The rocket did set up the rest of that kill. Okay, got more damage from the rocket onto Druk than I initially thought. The kill feed is lighting up blue. Space Station have the kills, and they're not wasting any time getting on the hill. Previously, we'd see them kind of wait in map position, but this time they are prioritizing that hill.
And Druk trying to get towards the back of C, but his position's known, and Bound gets a free back smack. Taulek never saw it coming. It's up to Druk in the back. He was able to get the first kill. Bound needs to take care of the work. Pznguin gets there before him, and now, I mean, Spacestation just have a dominating setup, right? They have the C spawns, and as long as they have those spawns at the back of C, if they go down numbers, it doesn't really matter because the spawners will have instant access to the hill. As long as they're able to get back into the fight right away, it's so hard for Native Red to get an extended period of time. But Druk, you know, absolutely destroying 2 players from hill. That's a great way to get the job done. Isn't that right, Druk? The big individual play gets the hill, and now Spacestation, the time is ticking away. This is reminiscent of Worlds. They saw a best of 7 cost them a world championship in this exact spot. Can they find redemption?
The pressure is on. The clock is ticking. 8 seconds to go. So you see Native Red defending the hill, but not stepping on it. All they need to do is stop Bound, and he's forced back. Spacestation Gaming, they can't get to the hill in time. That's it. That's the game. That's the series off of Druk's double kill at bottom mid. He secures the mid hill, and then they can just play to time. The upset is here.
I mean, it's phenomenal. It all comes down to the individual play of Druk. He's stuck behind 2 players. He has to go big. He goes big. Druk gets the kills, gets the win, 3-0 sweep, and I don't think anyone saw this coming. You can look at the end of this. This is just so reminiscent for Spacestation. Remember, when they were playing against Optic Gaming in the World Championship, it was this exact hill, this exact situation. No time left. We have to get in, and there's just nowhere for them to go. A frustrating moment, but it was this moment right here that wins the game. SoulSnipe goes down, Eco's full health. Druk doesn't care. The left, right, straight gets the kill. I mean, look at how fast Druk is moving right here, making him miss the shots to the left, and those 2 shots that missed cost his life. Hill in favor of Native Red, and series is perfect for Native Red. Close all the way through, right? It's not a decisive 3-0, but that's as bad. That's about as good as Native Red can do it. You know what I'm saying? That is some great execution in the icy moments. That's Native Red knowing what their strengths are and just pushing forward. I just can't say enough about this Native Red team and the way that they were able to persevere. It was rocky in all 3 games, right? We saw Spacestation come out hot in game 3. That round 2 of Oddball where Bound popped off, it seemed like all the momentum was there for Spacestation. Native Red were able to find the comeback, and then it was neck to neck, and it was Taulek who broke the standstill on recharge. And it was, oh, this is such, okay. Can we go? I want to go back just for 1 second, but this is so good. Look at this. Okay, so pause it right here. We're gonna go in. SoulSnipe gets the hill. He's waiting with rockets. They know the spawns at C. They're gonna wait for all the spawns to happen at C. Now, when you're in this middle hill, C is the spawn that you want because of the instant access that it gives. Now let's roll the tape, right? The spawners are coming up. Eco and StelluR come through. SoulSnipe's waiting. If a player pushes out too fast, he can get the opening pick and he can push forward. But you can see his teammates to the left. See those little dots to the left? They're starting to get in position. Taulek's in the middle. Manny's to the left. The rocket connects. SoulSnipe gets the word. He says, go, go, go. Manny's coming through the driveway. Taulek's in bottom mid. Taulek able to get 2 kills. Great place nades. Get the job done. The spikes on the stairs get the rest. Manny's coming in from the left. Pushes the last player into SoulSnipe. And that's a flawless break. Complete coordination. And then look at Taulek. He got that double kill. He instantly gets back towards B. Doesn't want to let him spawn red room, right? So now you have the spawns towards C. Druk and Manny are prepared to push forward to take the Spacestation players off spawn at PD. And now Taulek even has the opportunity to push back forward up to B to deal with an opening push. That's about as flawless of a King of the Hill strategy as you can get. SoulSnipe gets opening kill. And the only thing that stopped it was Pznguin getting an unexpected kill on SoulSnipe at the back of that base with a BR shot that was crispy. But I could gush about that. That is literally perfect hill break, that hill break spawn. I just, Native Red played phenomenal. This is a team that's ready to play for tournament wins this year.
I'm just gonna put my 2 cents on top of that, Garrett. He saw the little stutter step as SoulSnipe also went and picked up the spikes, because initially he was hugging that right wall on C stairs. He steps 1 step back, picks up the spikes, and because of that, they get the full team wipe. He wins himself the Stalker rifle, and ultimately that's what wins that game-winning hill for Native Red. Absolutely beautiful, masterfully done.